Hello, my name is Dr. Hermine Graham, and today I'll be talking to you about some tips and strategies of what to do when you feel emotionally overwhelmed. Now, this can be quite a difficult time when it's hard to get a hold of your thinking because you feel so overcome with emotions in that moment. And so what I'll be talking to you today is really about some strategies that might help you with reducing that initial emotional overwhelmed feeling and that overload. I'll be talking to you about 3 strategies that I think you might find helpful. The first one is really about managing and controlling learning to control your breathing. The second one is a mindfulness exercise that looks at kind of regulating emotions. And the third one will be progressive muscle relaxation. Now, you may be able to access these strategies via other apps, or you might have been taught them elsewhere, and that's fine. I hope you go ahead and continue to use them. You might not have tried them out before, so have a go. I'm going to just introduce you to some ideas and you can see which ones work for you. Different ones work for different people. So if we think about breathing, first of all, when we become very upset and overwhelmed emotionally, what happens is typically we hold our breath. So we hold our breath and we get incredibly tense. And so what happens is our heart rate starts to increase, and that increases that kind of rush of adrenaline, and we start to feel more anxious and panicky. One of the first strategy we're going to talk about is, as I said, breathing. So the idea is really to slow our breathing down. And what I'd like you to do is to practice breathing, inhaling through your nose to the count of 3, and imagining your tummy as a balloon filling up with air. So as you breathe in, as you inhale, you hold it there and your tummy pushes out and fills out with air. What I want you to do is, as you breathe out, as you exhale, imagine that your tummy is being squashed in, your navel is pushing to your back, and you're breathing out through your mouth. So we're breathing in slowly into our noses and we're exhaling through our mouths, and we're holding our breath in for 3. So let's try it now. Let's inhale through our noses. 1, 2, 3, and then we exhale, pushing our tummies in for 3, 2, 1. Let's try that again. So inhaling through your nose and imagining your tummy popping out like a balloon for 1, 2, 3. We hold it there and we exhale, breathing through our mouths for 3, 2, 1. All the while pushing all the air out of our tummies. Let's try that one more time. Breathing in through our noses for 1, 2, 3, holding it, and exhaling, breathing out through our mouths and pushing our tummies in for 1, 2, 3. All the time when we're thinking of these other 2 exercises that we're going to be doing, we're going to incorporate as well these breathing exercises. The next exercise I'd like to share with you that you can try when you're feeling emotionally overwhelmed, but it might be just useful to try the breathing out when you're feeling calm as well, just so that you get into a rhythm with it. But as I said, the next exercise we'll be thinking about and strategy is around a mindfulness exercise to help you to regulate emotions. So what we want to do is to once again breathe nicely in through our noses and exhale through our mouths. And we want to just be aware of how am I feeling. So ask yourself that when you're feeling upset and overwhelmed, how am I feeling right now? So am I feeling scared? Am I feeling anxious? Am I feeling sad? Am I feeling despair? Am I feeling very irritable and angry and cross? So identify how I'm feeling in that moment. Identify and label that emotion. So what emotion am I feeling? Okay, I'm feeling very sad. The next step is to think of that emotion and just observe it. Stand in non-judgmental observation of it. So what am I thinking? Okay, I'm feeling sad right now. Typically what we do is we go into thinking, I shouldn't feel sad. I should be able to cope with how I'm feeling right now. I shouldn't feel overwhelmed. I should be feeling happy. And so we start to judge ourselves and be quite harsh and critical on ourselves. So the idea is that we become mindful of the emotion we're feeling. I'm feeling sad right now. We identify and label that emotion. I'm feeling very sad. Non-judgmental observation of that emotion. So I'm just feeling sad right now because something sad has happened in my life, or because I just thought about something that very upsetting that's happened in the past. We then validate that emotion. It's okay for me to feel sad because of this event that's happened. The next step is for us to tolerate that feeling of distress, to learn to visualize the emotion. Sometimes emotions can feel like waves that they're going to crash over us like a tsunami, and they're going to completely overwhelm us. And what we want to do is to imagine that, visualize that emotion. So I feel sad, it's rising up within me, it feels overwhelming. But we normalize it. It's normal to feel sad when I lose something important to me. It's normal to feel despair when I lose someone I love, or a relationship ends, or I have an argument with somebody. So the next step is for you to just accept the feeling and remain hopeful. I know that I feel sad right now, but I know that this feeling will last for a time and eventually I'll feel better. So we imagine it, visualize it as a wave, a large wave of emotion coming over us, but we know with a wave that it comes up and it goes down over time. So we allow that feeling to come and we allow it to, then it will die down. Remind ourselves, be hopeful, accept it, remain hopeful. There is light at the end of the tunnel. When a surfer sees a wave, a huge wave, they think of themselves as surfing that wave and coming down on the other side. And so what we want to do is imagine emotions like that they rise up, but then we'll be able to surf that emotion and that feeling, and it will subside. The next stage is really for us to be able to move on. Once that feeling has started to come down, is to move on from that feeling, move on from that moment. So I felt right now quite sad because this relationship has ended, or because somebody I love has died, or they're no longer in my life, or something terrible has happened. So we describe the emotion. We recognize that in that moment, that emotion was valid, it was useful, but now that moment has passed and we need to allow that feeling in the same way to pass. What we do is, if the feeling comes back to us, is to remind ourselves that we've allowed ourselves to experience it and we can let it pass in that moment. Try to shift into doing something else that perhaps is more of a positive, absorbing activity, and that helps to put the experience into a better perspective. So the third strategy we're going to talk about is relaxation. Progressive muscle relaxation is something that allows us to go through all the muscle groups in our bodies and helps us to tune into places in our bodies where we're perhaps feeling more tension and more stress than we've realised, and helps us to learn to relax those muscles, and whilst breathing, to allow the tension and the emotional arousal to kind of dissipate or decrease over time. So progressive muscle relaxation basically involves us tensing our muscle groups, starting in our face and our heads, working all the way down through our bodies. I'm going to just demonstrate or take you through a shortened version of progressive muscle relaxation, but if you look on the internet, there's a website called Skills Boosters, and they have a really good demonstration of progressive muscle relaxation there that you can look up. So the first thing we want to do is to really tune in. Is if you just take this moment, if you'd like to close your eyes, please feel free to do so. But you basically start tuning into the sounds that you can hear around you. So wherever you are in your home, in your space, think about all the sounds you can hear. Perhaps you can hear a clock ticking, you can hear maybe somebody talking in the background, perhaps cars outside, and then just tune into all the sounds inside, the sound of my voice at this moment. What I want you to do is to just breathe in as we have done before, breathing in through our noses, filling our tummies and holding it for 3, and then exhaling it. We're going to think about the muscles in our face at this moment. Oftentimes we can hold a lot of tension in our foreheads, and we can often, wrinkle up our foreheads and furrow our brows and have quite a stern look on our faces, and that will create quite a lot of tension in our foreheads and in our faces. So we just want you to try by raising your eyebrows up and holding it there, breathing it in for 2, 3, and then just exhale the tension out and release down your forehead for 3, 2, 1. We do that again. Inhale the tension, raise our eyebrows up, and we just hold it for 1, 2, 3, and we exhale, letting our forehead and our eyebrows drift down. I want you now to think about the tension that may be in your shoulders, in the back of your head. What we're doing here now is just raising our shoulders up, and we're going to raise them up as close to our ears as possible, and we're going to hold the tension there. We're going to breathe that tension in, tighten all those muscles, and really hold the tension there. So let's raise our shoulders up to our ears and hold that tension for 1, 2, 3, and we're going to hold our breath. 2, 3, and then we're going to exhale for 3, 2, 1, and bring our shoulders down as we do that. We're going to repeat that. Inhale, bring our shoulders up, hold the tension there, and then allow our shoulders to drift down, and exhale for 3, 2, 1. What we're starting to tune in is to the areas where tension is in our bodies, and to recognize the difference between tense muscles and relaxed muscles. We're going to now think about the muscles in our forearms, in our biceps and in our fingers, and I just want you to, where you're sitting, to just clench your fists, hold them out in front of you, and you're just clenching your fists and your shoulders and your arms as tight as possible, and you're breathing in for 1, 2, 3, and holding it, and then we're exhaling and releasing our fingers and our arms down for 3, 2, 1. All the time we're breathing in through our noses, filling our tummies, and we're pushing the air out when we're breathing through our mouths. We're going to do that again. Clench our fists, hold them nice and tight, and breathe in for 1, 2, 3. We're going to hold it really tight, and then we're going to release it down and exhale for 3, 2, 1. We're now thinking about the muscles in our tummies and in our back, so we're really going to just hold our tummies as tight as possible. Clench your tummy and hold it really nice and tight, and hold it for 1, 2, 3, inhaling and exhaling for 3, 2, 1. Do that one more time. Clench your tummy nice and tight and hold it for 1, 2, 3, and we're exhaling that for 3, 2, 1. Feel the difference between tension and relaxation. I want you to think about your legs and any tension you may have there. Thinking about your feet and your toes. I want you to clench your toes, press your thighs down on your chair wherever you're sitting, and hold the tension there, breathing in for 1, 2, 3, and exhaling for 1, 2, 3. Doing that again, breathing in for 1, 2, 3, holding your tummy tight, and exhaling for 3, 2, 1. Great job. We're now thinking about from our forehead, thinking of anything tension there. So if there's any tension there, just have a think about the tension and just allow your eyebrows to drift down. Inhale any tension that may be there and just allow it to exhale out. Allowing any tension to drift down through the back of our heads, down through our shoulder blades, allowing our shoulders to just drift down as we breathe in and as we exhale. Allowing the tension to drift down through our arms, through our forearms and our fingers, onto our laps. Feeling the tension drift down from our tummies, through our seats, through our thighs, down our calves and out our toes. We're inhaling any remaining tension, holding it for 1, 2, 3, and then we're exhaling it, breathing it all out for 3, 2, 1. What we've done there is to start to tune into our bodies and start to recognize the difference between tension and relaxation. Whenever we start to feel emotionally aroused and overwhelmed with our feelings, as I said at the start, we tend to clench our fists, hold our breaths, and we tend to hold all the tension in our bodies. The moment we allow ourselves to breathe, we allow ourselves to think about visualizing the emotions, labeling how we feel, and we allow ourselves to release any tension, then the feeling drifts away. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you very much.